What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What you gonna do when they show up?
Hello, this is Matt Bergman, and you are listening to the Punk Rock Libertarians podcast, episode 13. I'm here tonight with Alexis Schlegel and Jared Schneiderman.
What's up?
Hey,
What's
how are
going
you?
on? Oh, fantastic, dude. How was your 4th?
It was pretty sweet. It's pretty
Yeah?
sweet. Yeah, man.
Did you
whatever.
celebrate America?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, America.
Marca.
Word. I went over to my buddy's house, and we were cooking out on the grill. And, it's typical 4th of July, cook out on the grill and then light some illegal fireworks to celebrate your freedom.
Nice.
But you're so free that fireworks are illegal in your state.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty ironic that we celebrate our freedom with illegal things, that the things that we use to celebrate
is
our
that
freedom.
ironic, though?
Yeah, I'd say it is. The things that we use to
I think
celebrate our
it's-
freedom are illegal. I mean, it's pretty crazy that, like, because the 4th of July, I mean, wouldn't it kind of be like a statist holiday in a lot of ways, just to kind of get people behind like nationalism and
Okay, I see what
and
you-
blind
yeah.
patriotism. And,
So you're saying like people are actively
and it's supposed to be a
defying the state.
celebration of freedom, but yet you're celebrating it with this illegal thing that technically, if you got caught with it, they could
Throw you in a
throw
cage.
you into a rape cage.
Technically.
I guess.
What do you think, Alex, dude?
Well,
Why don't you chime in, bro?
Well, okay. Well, fireworks. Yeah, Pennsylvania. Did you go up to Pennsylvania? And
Put
get
the
them?
microphone by your mouth. Pretend it's a dick.
Okay. Yeah. So, did you go up to Pennsylvania, where all the illegal fireworks are, where you can purchase them? Is that where you went?
That's where I've done plenty of time. Like whenever I'm in Pennsylvania and I see those fireworks stands, stop and pick those up. But my buddy actually had these on hand. I'm not sure if I have any fireworks here right now or not.
We should
What, on
totally
the
blow shit
premises?
up.
What was that?
Yeah, I mean, we could just light off fireworks like directly into the microphones.
I mean, yeah, I have no problem with lighting them off. We do the podcast in my basement. It's pretty hot,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bottomless podcast tonight, by the way.
Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, we were lighting off these fireworks in the street. At one point a cop drove by, and I think like one of the kids was lighting off like a smoke thing or something. I'm not sure if those are legal or not in Maryland.
Like a smoke bomb?
Yeah,
I don't think
I don't see why they should be illegal, but I don't see why many of them should be illegal. I think
No.
it's like should chainsaws be illegal?
I mean, I guess I kind of understand the reasoning to a degree.
Oh, really? Why don't you elaborate, Status
Yes,
Jared?
status.
I'm not saying that I agree with the law. I'm just saying, like,
Whatever, dude. You're totally saying that you agree with that law, dude.
What about the children, Matt?
Well, it sounds like Alexis is a boner for this law as well.
I mean, if you're doing it in a relatively safe manner, I don't see what the issue is. But I guess the I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate and I'm failing. So let's just
Stop being a status.
It should be called Status Advocate.
status advocate. No, I mean, there's no reason they should be illegal.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, when you have multiple states where they are legal, and you don't have, it's not like there's like limbs falling out of the sky now.
Yeah, dude.
I think
must-
we're gonna be all right. With
they must
this
have
one.
Plus, you have the underground fireworks market
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that wouldn't exist outside of this.
Is that
because-
real?
Yeah, dude. It gets pretty violent, dude. Because
Yeah.
people get these fireworks from other states,
You get the firework mafia.
and then they're worth so much more money in states where they're illegal. So then they just go around and sell them.
I hear they
And,
sell them at
it
like
jacks
public
up.
schools
It jacks
too.
up the prices and causes violence, dude.
And don't they sell them on like public school property to like little kids?
That could possibly happen.
It could.
Yeah, totally.
Kids are crazy.
Yep. So how about you, Jared? You had a party yesterday?
I had a little get together.
Yeah.
A soiree.
No. Yeah, we did some grilling, did some drinking, some partaking of herbal supplements,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, it was a good time. And we lit off some fireworks. I don't think they were like the good illegal ones though. I think they were like the lame ones you buy at.
Like sparklers.
I mean, I was really drunk when we lit them off, so I can't really recount. But
Did anything else eventful happen yesterday? Like the thing we talked about earlier that you may or may not want to talk about on the podcast?
what are you talking? Oh, nah,
No, nothing else happened that you
Nah.
want to talk about? You don't want to talk about that, dude?
nah.
Okay, cool.
There's not really much to talk about.
All right, dude.
Next time.
That's right. That's
Next
okay,
time.
dude. I'm sorry. Should I have not have thrown that out there?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I did ask.
Okay,
Okay.
I got you.
So everybody know that Jared has a secret.
I got a secret.
Secret.
I got a lot of secrets.
Yeah. So Alexis,
Yes.
brah, Xander,
Bro.
speak to me, bro. What did you do yesterday?
Went to a block party. It was kind of cool.
Where was this at?
It was in Locust Point. It was in the
Cool.
city, and then saw the fireworks from the rooftop. It was kind of cool.
From the rooftop?
Yeah, I met a lot of cool. I don't know. Kind of had lowered expectations going to this party, but yeah, it was kind of cool. Met some interesting.
You were probably
people.
hanging out with a lot of fine ladies, huh?
Yeah, there was a few. Yeah, it
It's good.
Yeah, wasn't bad. It was a good time. It was a diverse crowd, so it was interesting. You know, it was like a whole block party. So,
What does that mean, like diverse
What
crowd?
does diversity mean to you, Alex?
oh, I don't know. Like, I just thought initially it's like Locust Point and just be a bunch of like white people, like regentrified, neighborhood, just kind of like.
So you're saying you thought you were walking into a Klan meeting?
Well, no, not that, but just
Or you were hoping?
like just like basic.
When you got there, did you have to like throw your robe in the truck real quick?
No,
Did you
But,
have to undrape your Confederate flag from around your shoulders?
no, it wasn't anything like that. But it was
Okay.
cool. It was cool. Met a lot of interesting people. It was fun. Saw a lot of
Nice.
fireworks.
Did you light off fireworks, or you just saw some?
No. Well, no. No.
Wait,
it
can you
wasn't
see the harbor ones from there?
Yeah. So
Oh,
it was
that's
but it was kind
badass.
of like sparse this year. So I don't know. I guess maybe the city has some more problems, like
Really?
some other issues.
I heard they
that-
had like multiple. There were like multiple places down in the harbor that were lighting them off.
I mean, I guess maybe it was, but I don't know. I just recall like years prior, the taxpayer-funded displays were a little bit more elaborate. Are they tax-funded?
are you-
I don't even know.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah. Maybe this year, post riots, they were like ran out of money.
funded.
Theft-funded fireworks.
Theft funded.
Yeah.
At the point of a gun.
Yeah,
Fireworks.
The state has a monopoly on illegal firework displays.
And roads.
Yes. So yeah, that was it. That was my fourth.
Yeah, so
Sounds all right.
So you weren't here last week when Jared and I we were talking about like
Dicks.
Porcfest and I shared my experience at Porcfest or experiences. It was beautiful, dude. You probably didn't listen either, did you?
No.
Okay.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. So
when did you
like,
do this? When was it? Last Sunday?
No, it was like Tuesday.
Monday?
We got together
Tuesday.
on Monday night, dude.
Monday night? Well, I wasn't even home yet. I wasn't even back yet.
I know, dude, or I would have called you up to come over and share.
I was
so,
still in Maine, hanging with my boy Boyer.
So like what's your Porcfest story experience this year? I mean, I spent a lot of it with you, but what was it like? What was it like seen through the eyes of Alexis Schlegel?
I mean, honestly, it was kind of a whirlwind because I was only there for Saturday. So
A whirlwind, huh?
It was a whirlwind. It was like just trying to take everything in, but
Cheap paperback romance of sorts.
yes, exactly. But no, I was just checking out all the vendors. It was pretty cool. That survival shelter, that was pretty rad. That guy with that company. Did you go in the survival shelter?
Yeah, that was so funny, dude. Like when like we were going to go find food, and Alex just gets like pulled off talking to this guy, this doomsday prepper guy.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
It's just
but
like
no,
what
no,
the fuck,
I
dude?
think I
Come
saw.
on.
I think I saw the picture of that.
No, it was pretty rad. Like basically,
Was
this
he selling that or just like putting it on display?
well, this company's
Yeah,
based
I believe he
out of,
sells them.
yeah.
What he does is he
Are
installs
you
them.
corresponding with him now? Are you guys pen pals?
No, but I got his card.
Are you guys at Pen 15 pals?
No, but I was but no, it's pretty cool. Like they're basically these tornado shelters that are fabricated down in Georgia, and I guess like the market's like all out in the Midwest. So basically, you go down in these cellar steps, and it's like this, and they basically. So this guy in New Hampshire, his business, I don't know what I forget his name and his business name, but
Sure you do. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so he converts them into like survival shelters and installs them. So it's pretty rad.
Did you get his like phone number or anything?
No,
I mean,
I was just
don't you need
intrigued.
this guy to
Being a
survive?
welder, I was intrigued by the fabrication of it. and like how it's all manufactured. So it was pretty cool.
How much was he
you know who
selling
else
them
was
for?
a welder?
You know what? I didn't even ask how much. I guess it all depends because he customizes them. Like he buys them from this company in Georgia that they're like called Survivistorm.
Okay.
And then he
Survivor.
like converts. Yeah, no, they're like these tornado shelters. Like
Oh,
yeah.
Survive Us. Okay.
Survivistorm.
I
yeah.
gotcha.
So then this guy like pimps them out like however you want. Like he customizes your doomsday shelter.
Jared, would you buy a shelter that was called Survive a Holocaust?
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Like,
Probably not. Although it would be a good thing to have, right? Just in case.
Would I don't know, man. Would you be offended if like somebody made a shelter called that, just like targeting like the
Just
young,
scared
the young
Jews.
the scared Jewish demographic?
I bet they do pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty. That shelter was pretty rad. Did you check it out, Matt?
No, I was basically like I was probably blazed as fuck. Just,
Yeah.
like, looking over at you, talking to the guy. It's like, what the fuck?
But no,
Was the guy like really like emphatic? Was he like really like?
No, he was just kind of like
enthusiastic
I was like asking him all these questions, and he was just kind of looking at me like I was coming out of left field. But I guess, and then I told him I was like, yeah, well, I'm a welder. Like, you know, I basically, you know,
You probably
now-
thought you were trying to steal his design or something.
probably like, he's like I got a patent for this, and I was like, I don't believe in intellectual property, and, you know. So,
It's fuck you.
so I'm
Do you believe
so
in
I'm building one
intellectual
right now.
property or not?
Yeah, I do. And they're like, no, I don't know. Am I for or against? I don't know. I'm not for patents because I think, yeah, like anybody should be able to take an idea and roll with it, you know, and improve upon it. You know, if your product's that good, you should be, you know, you don't have to hide behind a patent, you know. You're just-
Word.
So anyways,
Word church.
but yeah, that was pretty cool. Like just checking out all the different vendors, but it seemed like, I don't know, man. Everybody was beat on Saturday. It was just kind of like, I guess maybe because of the coming storm that it was a lot of rain that night, man. I slept in the back of the car, man. I didn't even bother setting up a tent. But
Yeah, it was really weird too, because like it's like one of those days where it like looks like it's gonna rain every minute. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it seemed like a lot of people were leaving early, man.
Yeah. A lot of people are leaving early because they thought this crazy storm was gonna come, but it didn't really ever get that crazy, did it?
No, it wasn't until like probably like 3-4 in the morning. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
it
'Cause,
wasn't
I mean,
even that bad. I mean, it was coming down pretty good, but
I think I went to bed pretty early that night because we were trying to like roll out of there at like butt crack early. You know?
Yeah.
It was like 7 a.m. We were out of there by. But yeah.
Did you
I
and
mean,
JG cuddle with each other?
Yeah, dude. It was a sweet little bro chill.
Nice.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, I went to bed pretty early that last night, but I mean, that was your only night there, so you were probably like, what time are you up till?
I don't know, man. It was probably like midnight, but it was kind of beat, man. I was just like chilling down by the bonfire, but it was just like really, I don't know. And I didn't really know too many people this year, like from years prior. So, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's had a different vibe. Maybe like a lot of people left early. I don't know, but maybe I was just because I was there for a whole day and like just one day. But
Yeah, like it's the thing. There was a lot of people there this year. I feel like I don't know. I'd like to see what the official numbers were because I feel like it might have been a few less than last year. I definitely know that there's a lot of people I've met in years prior that I still correspond with, and you know I hit them up prior to the event, and they said they weren't going. You know, people have stuff going on or whatever. But yeah, there were some people that I definitely some people that I missed this year.
I think the whole thing now, like honestly, I think a week is too long, to be honest. I mean, I remember the first 2 years I went was 4 days.
Well, I mean, dude, it's like a week's too long, but you can always just go for the weekend. Like personally,
Yeah, no,
for me,
true.
like when the week's done, I'm like, oh man, it's over already.
But I feel as though like when it was only 4 days, there was so much packed into those 4 days and you know, it wasn't stretched
I mean,
out.
dude, it's one for a week, and you only went for 1 day, so you
Yeah,
could
I
always
know.
just go
True.
for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever
true.
you want to
You
do.
only went
dude.
for 1 day?
Well, I was up in Vermont for a couple days prior, and
Alex
then I went
just
to
isn't
Maine.
that hardcore about the calls, dude.
No.
Just,
I mean, no,
uh,
I was just more like
I
shocked
mean,
that you would
probably
drive that
wouldn't-
far.
you probably wouldn't
But
respect
if you were
them.
if you were
No.
in
Shouldn't
Vermont,
respect them as
yeah,
much.
that
Yeah, I
makes
was in
sense.
Vermont for 3 days prior, and then after Porcfest, made my way to Maine and hung out with my boy David Boyer, who's trying to legalize the ganja
Holla.
in Maine, the marijuana policy
Shout
project.
out.
So yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. Met him through Ron Paul and Campaign for Liberty in Baltimore, but yeah, he stayed up in Maine post Ron Paul 2012, like he was, and yeah, he's doing his thing up there. So it was cool hanging out with him, catching up. So Yeah. So it was overall it was a good trip. Always good to incorporate Porcfest into it.
That's
But-
cool. Well, yeah, part of me wishes that I went with you to Maine, but I mean, I
Maine
was
was
kind of
rad.
like, I did kind of like want to go home too.
Yeah.
And if I went,
It's a
I'd have to
long
go to
week.
work early the next day. So that's of course never fun.
Is Maine cool?
Yeah. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. But yeah,
I
I
mean-
think like the Porcfest, man. I don't know. Like, was there any other who's like the main speakers, Matt? Like, I don't know. Like, it just
Well,
seemed.
I mean, we did touch on this a little bit last week.
but like Saturday, there wasn't like a headliner, It
Which you
seemed
would
like-
know.
Yeah,
But
you would know if you would listened, Alexis.
oh, sorry, I couldn't. I was in Maine. And,
Okay,
I was
why
doing
don't you
things.
just smoke your weed and then all right.
Yeah, I will.
So, yeah. So, what else is going on this week?
Well, Rand Paul just did a fundraiser with some marijuana companies out in Colorado.
Yeah, I think it was like $2,700 a plate or something.
Wow, it's an
So-
expensive dinner.
Yeah, I mean, it's the interesting thing about this is, I think from what I'm reading, he's the only candidate to have ever done this.
Yeah.
or the first at least.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of money there, and he doesn't have to. I mean, his record isn't 100% clear, but at least recently he seems to be pro legalization.
I mean, I don't know. He's been like, I mean, for a while, he's like been pretty awesome on the subject. I think I read that. I think the Marijuana Policy Project gave him the highest grade of any potential like 2016 presidential candidate with like a 96%.
Yeah, he got like
So,
an A minus.
I think when it, I mean, I'm a person who's, I've always been hard on Rand when he's doing things I don't like, but at the same time, I'll give him credit when he's doing things that I agree with.
I think he would be
And-
solid on 10th Amendment, like allowing states to do their own thing.
Yeah,
I
and
think he's a
and,
solid-
that's basically everything he says, And he also talks about decreasing, ending mandatory minimums and just like how fucked up it is. He's also talked about he introduced the Redeem Act, which would end the mandatory minimums, and it would also expunge drug records after these people get out of prison, so that then they can actually find a job.
Right.
So, I think that's pretty great. It's as far as anybody running for president, at least out of the top two parties, I think he's hands down the best about these things.
He's definitely the best when it comes to the clown car that is the Republican field. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean,
It's
do
getting
you
kinda
think he's better
ridiculous.
than all the Democrats or not? I mean,
Do you think he's better than Donald Trump?
or Bernie Sanders? Yeah,
I think the only one on the other side would maybe be Bernie Sanders. Would be.
you think Bernie Sanders is better than Rand?
I wouldn't say he's better. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it, but I
Well,
think
mean,
on civil
but
liberties,
Bernie's like big into like socialism. Like while I dig Bernie because I feel that he's more genuine than your average presidential candidate, and that's probably an understatement too. He seems like a pretty genuine guy,
Yeah.
honestly.
And he's anti-establishment. It's just the direction that he wants to go in is kind of opposite
yeah,
in some respects from what the
like
libertarians would want.
extreme socialism.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think on civil liberties, I think he'd be, I think he'd be pretty solid on the drug. But I don't know. I haven't really seen like his positions on marijuana and other civil liberties, like his stance. So,
Huh.
but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it is pretty monumental of Rand to do that, and I don't know. I think I also like how he's definitely brought up getting government out of marriage now totally.
Yeah.
And I like how I think it's funny how like libertarians have talked about that for a while, and now Republicans are willing to talk about it. Now that it's forced down from the federal government, now Republicans are want to talk about it. Like that's their compromise, And it would be a great compromise because getting government out of marriage, that's liberty for all right there. So Yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's kind of telling that maybe the libertarian answer is the best answer. I think it's one that if you do like legalize marriage, the way that the government's done it, you're pissing a lot of people on the right off.
Right.
But if you do the way it was done before, you're pissing a lot of people on the left off. But, if you just got the government out of marriage altogether and churches could marry whoever the fuck they want.
Right. And then if you wanted to get a civil union, you could go and do that.
Yeah. Or you could call it a marriage or whatever, It's just religious freedom. It's covered under the First Amendment like it should be. Right.
I mean, that's the problem is that, it's almost become a theocracy in that respect because marriage is almost like 100% intertwined with the state. Whereas you're supposed to have separation of church and state, you have this thing that's...
It's like marriage and the state are spooning in effect.
Yeah.
Well, and then the whole thing is then you have insurances and the whole convoluted tax code, and that's where all this...
Right.
That's where,
Yeah, and that just complicates it. But even if you still had those things and you just said, well... people can enter into call it a civil union, call it whatever you want. That's purely a legal matter and doesn't have all the baggage that even just the term marriage has. I think that solves a lot of your problems because that's where the Christian right get upset is because they see marriage as being defined as
one man, one woman,
a man and a woman.
And that's fine if you want to do that in your church. But don't try to use the force of government to define it for everybody else.
Right. But I know, the big fear with a lot of these people now is that the government is then going to come in and force their churches to perform these weddings.
Well, yeah, that's actually been a big fear all along. Actually,
right.
I mean, if you listen to a lot of the people that oppose gay marriage from the get-go, where it's me personally, I look at it I think the government should be out of marriage 100%, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Right.
So, it's should we allow gay people to get married? Sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of conservatives have been saying all along, people that I've talked to, they've been saying, well, yeah, once they legalize it, they're going to force all the churches to do it, and the churches will get sued if they won't. And then of course, a lot of the gay marriage advocates will say, no, not at all, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's kind of it seems like it's becoming more of a question. I don't know. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
I think it's already been happening too.
I don't know if a church has been sued for that. That is fucked up. I think that's grounds for revolution right there. If you seriously, this is your religious freedom. Right. That is your First Amendment right.
But see, and part of the complication is that the priest is also granted legal power. When he pronounces the marriage, he says, "With the power the power vested in me by whatever state,
whatever border they're in." Yeah.
Yeah. Then I
don't think I've ever seen that happen in a church. I think it's with the power vested in me, but by God, I've never seen it.
No, they say the state.
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
Either way, I'm pretty sure they're capable of signing the marriage license, which
seems
makes them
kind of sacrilege to say that in a church. To talk about the state and to put the state in the same sentences as God,
Sure. Well, it depends.
Doesn't it though?
I've been
think about it. Think about it. Think about it. I know it might be a little hard to imagine. It's personally, I'm pretty agnostic. I know you identify as an atheist. It's but just imagine if you
identify as a black atheist.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just imagine. I don't know. I think that's pretty extreme though.
Black know. Female atheist. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Pretty crazy.
Well, isn't it the verses render unto Caesar what is Caesar's? It's basically saying the government should be entirely separate from the religion, and I believe it says that in the Bible. Mm. So yeah, I mean, it would technically be sacrilegious.
Yeah,
but I swear they do say that. I don't know. Either way,
I don't know. I mean, I just think that's pretty fucked up. If you've got people able to like sue churches for not marrying them,
Right. I mean, you're
But
just basically
on the
what
other
you're
hand,
saying is you want to force somebody to do something. You own that person
yeah, and it's
to be able to tell
also
them to perform that.
to do something that's against their religion. It's their religious freedom,
Right.
And I mean, on the same token, though, I think it's every bit as fucked up to force somebody to bake a cake
Yeah.
or to force somebody to do anything.
Right.
Do you guys,
You know?
speaking of cakes, did you guys see that video where the guy went to Walmart and they refused to bake a Confederate flag cake,
Yeah.
but they made an ISIS cake?
Yeah.
ISIS, I don't know, man. It's bizarro world. You go away for a couple days and
Yeah.
news
That was a
feed, and
pretty
it's
wild
like-
story.
But
I
yeah,
think they
like
ended up
forcing.
apologizing for it and
Yeah.
banning it from their stores.
It's so ridiculous.
I did not see that.
Yeah, but it's like Walmart. Wow, got rid of a flag, but
Yeah, I mean,
our stuff is still made by slave labor. in
all
China.
that is
But
just
anyways.
reactionary, covering your asses, trying not to lose any business. You're seeing all these like stores are not selling the Confederate flag anymore, but then you can still buy like, I think you can buy like a fucking Nazi flag still.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme, man. It's pretty extreme. I actually saw in Baltimore, Baltimore's mayor who handled the riots so wonderfully. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steph.
Yeah.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah. So anyway, she said that she's thinking about getting rid of like some Civil War statues.
Yeah,
Really?
they're actually. She's forming a panel. I heard that on the radio too.
Wait, why would there be Southern statues?
There's Confederate.
Because
Robert E.
Maryland
Lee
was part
Park.
of the South, dude.
Oh, yeah. I guess Mason-Dixon line, right?
So yeah, they're like doing a study, looking into, researching into, and it's like really this
Researching
is what
what?
we're doing?
Yeah,
Like
I
basically
don't-
looking into the.
I don't know if you guys are
background.
going to be able to hear this, like listening to the podcast, but we're in my basement and we can just hear like fireworks going on outside of the house. Because it's
Alex is shaking
it's
in
July
fear.
5th and we're recording, and it's pretty awesome.
It's pretty dope.
As I said before, fireworks are illegal, so it's kind of like you're just hearing rebellion.
You're hearing a middle finger to the state.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah.
So has the left been saying anything about Rand Paul and his fundraiser?
Huh.
Like
I don't know if they would even want to like really touch on
Acknowledge
it
it?
too hard, because I mean it kind of makes them look like poons. Because I mean the fact that like a Republican did it first,
right.
Yeah.
totally. But I mean I don't know. It's like I think regardless what you think of Rand compared to Ron, we've had the conversation a bunch. I think there's still Rand Paul's still going to drum up some conversation. He still is drumming up some conversation. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, agreed. What about his dad though? His dad's been up to something with jury nullification.
Yeah, like earlier this week, Ron Paul was speaking into I think the lady's name is like Shanna Mons. He was speaking about her. And she's basically facing like up to like 34 years in prison for using cannabis oil to treat her Crohn's disease. Because basically her son was in school and the teacher was giving some sort of like anti-drug propaganda speech. And, the child was like, no, well, actually, I'm pretty educated on the matter, and was like, correcting her when it comes to marijuana.
Right.
And he was speaking about his mom's, use of cannabis oil to treat her Crohn's disease. And then basically, teacher tells people, and then the house gets raided.
Ugh, what a
Yeah.
narc.
And,
What a
the
snitch.
kid's like taken away, and she's facing up to like 34 years in prison. So
Jeez.
What state is this in?
I'm not sure. I forget. I can pull it
Why
up.
is it 34 years? Was it just like the amount she had?
Probably like
I
mandatory
don't know,
minimum.
man. I mean, I don't think any amount justifies any amount of time.
Well,
It's a
yeah,
fucking
I mean, we're all
plant
in
that's never
agreement
killed
there.
anybody.
Yeah.
It's like any argument against marijuana, you can make against alcohol, and you can probably make worse against alcohol.
Yeah. No, I mean we're all in agreement there. Was just wondering how they're able to
Fucking magic,
Yeah.
status magic.
status magic.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, it's taking me a while to pull up what state it was in. But
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. At any rate, it's pretty cool to see Ron still going at it. He's about to turn like 80 years old, and he's advocating jury nullification. And jury nullification is probably one of the most important things that you can do. Everybody is like, oh shit, they picked me for jury duty. Fuck,
Yeah, so
and I'm not saying that I wouldn't be like that too, because I mean it's a pain in the dick.
Yeah.
But you can go there, and if it's any sort of like bullshit, victimless, nonviolent crime, I mean it costs like $40,000 to $60,000 a year to keep somebody in prison in some places. That's more than a lot of people make.
Right.
And then it's just insane to send somebody to jail for just not the nonviolent crime of possessing any sort of substance.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean I feel like that period, and then I feel like it's exceptionally evil to treat somebody who's using it to punish somebody who's using it to treat their Crohn's disease.
Oh yeah.
It's I mean either way it's 100% fucked up,
right?
Whether it's recreational or medicinal, but
it just seems a little bit.
It's really fucked up.
Tad bit
have either one of you ever been on a jury or selected for jury duty?
No,
I have not.
Yeah, I haven't either. So I think
So wait,
we're
how
probably
does
all
jury-
blacklisted.
I have this
We're
theory.
probably on a
I have this
list,
theory that since when I registered to vote, I was a registered libertarian, and I think that's when they take you for jury duty. They probably don't pick libertarians.
No,
You think so?
Yeah.
No. I seriously, I've never once have ever been selected for jury duty, and I think
I don't know many people that have though.
Oh, but then there's people in Baltimore City that have been I've heard people.
I've
going
heard of people getting
multiple
selected
times.
multiple times.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's all basically
What are they?
registered voters probably, because there's less registered voters in the city, so a lot and
Oh, I gotcha.
population. So even still though, it's still kind of I've not once ever. So I'm just curious. I guarantee we're all on a list. We're all blacklisted. So you don't want us on a jury.
Probably not.
So how does jury nullification work?
Well, how does anything work, Jared? I'm not here to explain to you everything about everything. Okay. Some of these things you should probably Google before you get here.
I just want to explain. I want you to explain for the listeners. Man.
I know. I'm just fucking with you. Okay, so jury nullification works a little something like this. Okay.
Break it down.
Can you
Matt.
sing it?
Can I
It's
sing
like
it?
School of Rock.
Yeah.
Can I fuck you? So jury nullification works like this.
Well, boys and girls.
Like anytime you're on a jury, and somebody could be guilty of the crime, but if you don't believe in the law, just vote not guilty. So if it's a law that you don't believe in, or if you think the sentencing is too harsh, or if for any reason you don't want this person to not go to prison, you just exercise your right of jury nullification.
Okay, so you're just voting not guilty.
Yeah, just vote not guilty if you don't think the person deserves to go to prison.
Right.
If you don't believe in the law, that's it. Because they're obviously doing a shitty job of changing the laws. So this is what you can do to make a huge fucking difference.
So
make that day mean something.
So wait, if the whole jury votes that way, what happens then?
No, actually, just one person has to vote that way. Because if one person votes that way, the person can not be convicted.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. Hello, man. Are you serious, man? No, I'm just fucking with you. So, yeah, man. I believe when, fucking, Pete Ayer and a demo from Coplock were, I believe they were on trial in, Springfield, Massachusetts. They actually got one dude on the jury to go not guilty, and then they got off.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And they had pictures of him afterwards rocking a Coplock shirt.
Nice.
So, yeah, man. It's really cool.
There's
So,
an
yeah,
organization.
go ahead.
What is it? FIJA, Fully Informed Jury Association. They're
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, they usually, but a lot of times they get harassed if they're handing out literature outside courthouses, just basically to educate potential jurors, and they're harassed.
Yeah, I think Julian Hecklin, he's 92 years old or something, and he's been arrested multiple times for passing out jury nullification pamphlets.
State
What does he get arrested? What is the charge?
Basically, the
disturbing
courts
the
don't
peace.
want you to know about it or be familiar with the idea or know that it's possible.
Right.
Because So, I mean, basically, if you pass out these pamphlets, outside of a courthouse, chances are they're going to get really fucking pissed. But FIJA has people do it all the time.
Really? That's cool.
Yes, that's the Fully Informed Jury Nullification. I think it's FIJA, FIJA.org, I believe. But I'm sure you can Google that shit and it'll come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. So, what's on the agenda next, Baby Cat?
So, have you guys heard about these Uber riots in France?
I have not.
So, the taxi drivers out there are really upset with Uber because
Shocker,
because they work in an industry that's heavily regulated by the government, and because of that, they just can't compete with the free market taxi solution that is Uber. So they got really violent and started fucking setting fires and doing all sorts of crazy shit. And I mean, it's like, it just kind of goes to show, like, I mean, you kind of had that happen here, but obviously not to that degree where there was like rioting and stuff. But you have different places or different states. I think New York was one of them that either banned Uber or had banned Uber. I don't know if it's still that way, but basically it's just protectionism. It's just to protect the taxi industry, which is a high source of revenue for the city because these medallions cost, I think, like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Medallion being essentially like the right to drive a car and pick people up in it to take them places. So, aren't you an Uber driver, Alex?
I am. I've been doing it for a couple months, part time. Usually, maybe like 2-3 nights out of the week, on average. Yeah, it's very innovative, and you can see why it's so popular with riders and also individuals that want to partner and drive.
Right.
Just because you could do it whenever you want.
The barrier to entry is really low.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, exactly.
Didn't Uber tell their drivers recently that they couldn't carry guns?
Yes, they did, but
How do you feel about that?
well, technically, the laws of Maryland, I can't legally carry anyways. So it's kind of like null and void. But if I was in a state where they did allow me to have, my right to defend oneself, I would be upset about it.
Like, would Uber let you carry if you had a concealed carry permit or not?
I don't know. I saw the article, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. But honestly, even if I did have a concealed carry and said state was driving, I wouldn't care. What they don't know will not hurt them.
So you're saying you would just do it anyways?
I would just do it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but I mean, like, was it a dick move? Like,
I think so.
how did they come about this?
I think it was just
you
like
having an idea.
I think this whole knee-jerk reaction with this,
Charleston thing.
Yeah, it's the Charleston shooting. I think it's just knee-jerk reaction, like anything, just overreaction.
So I mean, what are they thinking? Like, one of their drivers is going to pull a Dylan Roof, but then Uber says he can't carry a gun, so he's just not going to do it while he's driving for Uber. I mean, what do they think? Or are they scared about like another Dylan Roof coming about and an Uber driver being there with a gun to defend himself? Yeah, I mean, what are they thinking? Really? Because I mean, do you think if Dylan Roof drove for Uber that he wouldn't have
complained or something?
What was that?
I wonder if someone just like complained because someone that was driving them had a gun and
Probably, dude.
it just went up the bureaucratic bullshit ladder.
Yeah, someone was offended.
Yeah, it's just pretty insane when you think about it. Because
Someone was upset.
It's like those are like the possibilities right there.
Right.
It's just insane.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I don't see the safety issue. I mean, you're already driving a car. I mean, if you wanted to kill somebody, all you'd have to do is just crash the car.
True.
But
yeah, it's just
or stab them or whatever.
It's a typical overreaction.
Cars don't
of
kill
anything
people,
that happens.
Dude, this policy, you could say Uber kills people, dude.
Why do you say that? Because they can't
Because
defend
like
themselves?
anytime there's a shooting and an Uber driver was there and they're not allowed to carry guns, dude. So
And if they get
like,
caught in the crossfire,
it's like Uber getting people killed.
it's scary to think about, man.
But yeah, so going back to this riot. So when was this popping off?
I think it was like last week.
Wow.
I think they're still. Well, apparently they were supposed to ban I think it's called Uber Pop out there. I don't know what the Pop stands for.
I'm not sure. There's a couple different acronyms.
Oh yeah.
Depends on like I guess the platform, like
Okay.
vehicle. I don't know. Like
Okay.
I don't
So
know.
that-
And this is in France, so who knows? I don't know
Yeah.
what they have available over there.
So apparently it was supposed to be banned. Oh, actually, what happened was it was banned, like on January 1st. But apparently, whatever governing body passed the ban, Uber was basically like, you don't have the authority to do that. So they just kept operating.
yeah, they're like just
Like,
ignored the state.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the French government works, but
I don't think it does.
probably not. Apparently not when you have taxi drivers riding in the streets.
Yeah, but
But
no, but it's so ridiculous. The barriers to entry. It's like
And you're
why-
talking about like sorry, but I mean you're talking about France is like pretty like socialist like the rest of like don't they have a who has like the socialist prime minister right now? Isn't that France?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean so like it kind of goes to show there's sort of like this culture where like people just don't appreciate like the free market.
Anything innovative is frowned upon.
You know what I mean? And so, like, the reaction is just utter hatred towards this alternative solution that could be and is just better than the existing one.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, like, question. I mean, you guys, fucking, we're all in like the, 20-something, 30-something age group. Like, a lot of people who, take Uber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is, like, I wonder if a lot of these people, because I just hear libertarians talking about this mostly, I wonder if a lot of these people like kind of see the way government's cracking down on Uber and it pisses them off at all. I wonder if this will like help make more people libertarian.
I think it will. Just talking to the people that I drive on a daily basis, they love it, and then you have these naysayers that are like, well, it's not safe, it's not a licensed taxi cab, and it's like,
Not safe. Dude, my buddy
yeah.
my buddy had a gun pulled on him by a taxi cab driver.
right.
He got mugged, got left on the side of
Jesus.
795 by a fucking employed taxi driver, legit taxi driver. So you want to tell me
I
that
doubt the
fucking-
guy was legit.
Yeah.
He probably stole like a taxi cab and was like picking up people.
I mean, maybe, dude.
Did they catch the guy?
No, I mean he was like completely shit faced when it happened. So I think the guy just noticed that he was like completely just gone, and then just took advantage. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know, but assuming it's true, I mean, it can happen. I mean, it can happen in an Uber. It can happen in a taxi. It's got nothing to do with whether it's run by the state or run by a private company.
Right.
I don't see how.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm
It's
not saying that it is.
Right.
But I would say Uber. Who's
Do
picking
they
you
do
up.
background checks on Uber drivers?
Yeah, I had to go through. To what extent, I don't know. But I mean, they basically. I don't know if it was just driving or
They make
criminal
sure you're
or
in
all.
the phone book.
Yeah, I guess. So, but no, they do all that, and then But I think from what I've heard from feedback from passengers is the fact that like, okay, one, it's a lot safer because one, who's picking you up.
Mm-hmm.
You have a choice in who you want to pick you up.
Right, and they have like reviews.
you
and
Like,
like
have
ratings.
your
do
reviews.
you ever like talk to people about like liberty when they're in the taxi cab?
Occasionally, I picked up a U.S. Senator a couple weeks ago. Well, this was like 2 months ago. That was
Wow.
Did you
interesting.
talk to him about like any political issues, or would you worry about him like
no,
getting
I'm
you a
sorry.
bad
She was a
rating or
former U.S. senator. Her
Oh, yeah.
name was Kay Hagan. She was a Democrat. Luckily, when I put her luggage in the back of my car, she didn't see my Ron Paul bumper sticker because that ride could have gotten awkward really quickly.
something? Why,
But-
dude? Why wouldn't you want to talk to her about these things?
Well, so she was asking me about Uber, and she was kind of coming at it all status, like, well, what do you think about? Like, she was just inquiring, like she just couldn't wrap her head around it, and but
Like,
anyway.
was she wondering whether it was safe or like?
Yeah,
Dude,
just kind
that
of
was like your perfect
background.
opportunity. That was kind
Right.
of like her litmus test for Uber.
Oh well, exactly.
You know?
So what I told her, well, it's innovative, it's free market. There's no barriers to there isn't any barriers to entry. I can work as much or as little as I want.
So it sounds like you're doing a pretty good job then.
Oh yeah, I mean, I told her I was like, it's free market. It's finding ways around all these like antiquated laws and barriers to entry, and the licensing, etc. So she was on board with that, and then we started talking, and then like she was going to Penn Station, And so, I'm just
Did she
chit-chat.
like try to come on to you at all?
No. She was a classy lady.
It didn't turn into like Bang Bus.
No, not at all.
Dude, what's Bang Bus?
Oh man. So anyways,
Only my favorite site on the internet.
Okay.
So, but no. The only thing that came up was like as I was getting out, I guess I asked like, oh, what are you going to New York? She was going to Penn Station, going to New York, and then on to Boston. And she's like, oh, I teach this class at Harvard for, money in politics, post Citizen United. And I said, well, what did you do? She was like, oh, and I was a U.S. senator, but she's like, I got just voted out this last year by the Koch brothers and blah blah blah. And she just kept rambling on about the evil Koch brothers and you got to vote. And she said, and then she asked me what I'm registered, and I said, well, I said at the time I'm still a registered Republican, but I was like, I'm not even voting. I didn't even vote this last election. I'm not voting again. And she said, I voted for like one libertarian candidate running for attorney general. And she's like, well, you gotta vote. Well, the Koch brothers will win. And as she's getting out of the car and as I'm helping her with her luggage, she's basically like, you gotta look into Hillary. You should vote for Hillary. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're a U.S. senator, like former U.S. senator, trying to tell me like. But I was like, yeah. But luckily, like I said, I was able to really.
Dude, you should have grabbed your dick and you should have said, you should speak into the microphone.
No.
You should have told her, dude.
But yeah, it was just like, luckily,
Senator.
like I said, it wasn't initially because it could have been.
So wait, how did it come up that she was a senator?
Well, because she's like, I'm going to New York for a fundraiser, and then I got to go to Boston. She's like, I teach at Harvard, and I'm like, well, wait. And then she basically was like, oh, I teach, or she's like, I'm a former U.S. senator, because she basically was like, couldn't figure out the app, and I was like, because I tried calling her before I picked her up, and I basically got her voicemail to her office phone number, so she didn't have her cell number linked to the app. And she's like, so I'm trying to explain it to her. I was like, it's not that hard. Just go into your settings. You should be able to figure it out. And she's like, oh, I'll just have my assistant take care of it. I'm an assistant. I'm like, the fuck is this? Like, so then it just came up. And then, but it was towards like right when I was dropping her off. Like, that's when, so luckily, like, because it would have been great, like, right off the bat if it was,
Yeah, luckily you don't have to worry about a tip.
Yeah. So. But
actually, do you ever get tips?
Do you ever get like cash tips?
It's frowned upon. You're not supposed to,
but do you?
I don't. If someone wants to, I'm like, hey, whatever, But they don't like that. I mean, it's
like, no, I only take Bitcoin.
Yeah, I only take silver. Silver or Bitcoin. No, but yeah, like Uber is very innovative, and you can see why. Like, I mean, they tried to ban it in Annapolis very briefly, but I think they worked that out.
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, it was brief, but they were actually going to have undercover agents to basically take rides to try to crack down, but it never materialized. Really? Yeah, because that. But
so they could still run it. So they could just run it without the state's approval and just like hope to get away with it. Like Uber's down for that.
Well, they just passed the law. They just passed the law. One more law, and we're But I guess basically they allow it because there's such demand. The consumers want it.
Well, I mean, dude, when you think about it.
So they lobby. They're basically protected in Maryland.
Only one more law and then we'll be free.
Right.
Truly free.
So, but yeah, that's Uber, and you can see why the state, the monopolies that be, the state wants to just control everything.
Yeah, I mean, Uber seems like the one of the greatest things to happen in the past few years, but at the same time, it is kind of sad for the taxi cab companies. And I'm not saying that government should crack down on Uber. I'm just saying government should relinquish all these rules on rides and open up the market for more people like Uber.
Right. Well, I mean,
you do have Lyft. I don't know if I know that's really popular on the West Coast.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying. Man,
yeah, if they just
I think I should be able to like paint my car and drive around the city and pick up people without getting like a fucking certification.
Right.
And lots of people do that right now. I've known people who have like lost their job and they just drive around the city all day, pick people up and give hacks, and that's
they give
how they earn money. Not that I've heard of, but that might go on too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you want to do that, I mean, like seriously, I mean, you know, what if like that's your best alternative? You know, you could paint your car and just pick up people. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, like people are going to be more willing to go with someone like Uber than with like an individual driving around, but that's their prerogative.
Yes and no. I mean, if I drive around the same neighborhood, no, think about this. Consider this, my friend. Okay, if I drive around the same neighborhood downtown, and you know, if I paint my car up in a way to where people will recognize it,
right?
You know, I'm gonna start giving people rides, and word of mouth is gonna travel around. You know,
right? And you'll build up the trust factor.
Exactly, dude. I mean, and what's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong. I was just saying why, you know, I was just pointing out the fact that you'll have multiple choices in the market, and there may be people that are more willing to go with Uber because it's an established company and they run background checks and whatnot, as opposed to an individual. But it's their right to choose that.
You may, or you might like that dude in your neighborhood that's always giving out rides. You know, he's always a good conversation. You know.
Yeah. Free mouth hugs.
Yeah. I mean, so, anyways, you know, I mean, it's just freeing up the market. You know, like we should for everything. It should just be easier to start your own business. You know, and I don't see why, you know, people, you know, everybody in the left is going to rag about, like, you know, working for the man, making money for the man, while the man makes all this money, you know. Meanwhile, you know, they're not down for getting rid of regulations that would make it easier to start your own business.
Right.
You know, and I think that's like, you know, the ultimate freedom, where you're not working for somebody else, but you're working for yourself. And the more small businesses we have, you know.
Right. And what people don't realize is that often the regulations just help the corporations. Because the corporations, large corporations, like they're the ones that have the resources to deal with the regulations.
They're doing all
like if they have to pay a license or a fee or a tax, they can pay it. But me or you, we can't afford that, so we're barred from entry into that, whatever that industry is.
Word.
They're all in their corporate buildings doing their corporate-y things.
Yeah. Those evil Koch brothers.
Yeah.
Koch. Which one is it?
I think it's Coke.
Yeah,
but it looks like Koch.
Yeah, but you know, having the Koch brothers have done some. I know you guys are being sarcastic when you're saying that, but I mean, wasn't it like a couple months ago that they were like, you know, weren't they pretty pissed off? Like they want some drug reform.
Yeah, they were like advocating drug reform. I think they were advocating for like gay marriage at one point.
Yeah, so I mean, it's.
I mean, look, they're like anybody else. Like any other rich person does fucked up shit, and they do good shit. I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's when you have your hands in that much shit, like you're bound to be linked up with some pretty grimy shit at some point. But
word,
you know, to like make them out like they're like these devil people is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I think so. So, Alex, are you on Minds.com yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't got on that yet.
Why not?
What the fuck are you doing with your life?
Well, let me get on it right
Jared,
now.
Are you on there yet?
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I'm on there.
You've made your own profile. Did you subscribe to like?
Do they have an
Punk Rock
app?
Libertarians?
What is Punk Rock Libertarians?
Yeah. Did you subscribe to us on Minds?
I believe so.
Did you subscribe to me on Minds?
No.
Yeah, it's just Punk Rock Libertarian, no S.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
That's clever, dude.
I know.
Confusing, but clever.
Yeah. So, Alex, when are you going to start one, dude?
Right now, I'm going to see if there's an app. Is there an app available?
There is an app.
There is an app.
The app
Cool.
actually allows you to do additional features.
I'm going to check it out right now.
Awesome. Well, I think that's about it for this week, guys.
All right, man.
Cool.
Sounds
Until
good.
next time.
Yep. Take it easy. Live free.
What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What you gonna do when they show up in black suits on your street in army boots? And they'll silence you. What you gonna say when they strip your rights away? jury must discuss. Say you don't look like one of us. We're gonna turn. Now the court has been adjourned, and the lessons that you've learned are not as many as the bridges burn. We don't need to run and hide. We won't be pushed off to the side. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. We don't need to run and hide. We won't be pushed off to the side. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower?